I want to talk about why you shouldn't sleep on the Washington Redskins this upcoming NFL season 2020. Now, I've noticed a lot of people since the NFL schedule got released, they've been crapping on the Washington Redskins, saying that the Washington Redskins are not going to win more than 5 games and that they're not going to be that good. Now, I disagree with that statement. I think the Washington Redskins are more than capable of winning more than 5 games. You got a new head coach in Ron Rivera. Ron Rivera has a Washington Redskins team that fits his style of coaching. A lot of people say that the Washington Redskins don't have enough on offense to be competitive. I would like to disagree with that statement. You see, those Carolina Panthers teams that went to the playoffs when Ron Rivera was the head coach, they weren't really all that dynamic on offense when it came to the playmakers that they had. The year they went to the Super Bowl, their 2 best options in the passing game was Ted Ginn and Greg Olsen. You see, Ron Rivera is a guy who likes to run the football, pass when need be, rely on his defense. Now, I know a lot of people have been really hard on second-year quarterback Dwayne Haskins. He was a rookie last year. His rookie year was either mediocre or subpar. Subpar would be me being nice, right? But a lot of people have the narrative that Dwayne Haskins needs to be Superman. He doesn't need to be Superman. Dwayne Haskins just has to be good enough. He at least needs to be average to get the Redskins to the playoffs. Because you see, Ron Rivera isn't a guy who's going to be trying to throw the football 40, 50 times a game. Ron Rivera is a guy who wants to run the football, rely on his defense, right? And when you look at his Redskins roster, it's perfect towards his playing style. First of all, you got like several halfbacks on your roster. You got Adrian Peterson, who, despite is getting older by the day, still finds a way to defy Father Time and still be a productive halfback in the NFL. You got Darius, guys who, if he's able to stay healthy and play a full 16-game season, I think he's a 1,000-yard rusher and he makes the playoffs. You got Antonio Gibson, the rookie out of Memphis. This is a do-it-all kind of halfback. Like, he can play wide receiver, he can play halfback. It's going to be really interesting seeing how Ron Rivera and the Washington Redskins utilize him. You got Bryce Love, who is a speedster out of Stanford, who they drafted a few years ago. You got Peyton Barber. You got J.D. McKissick, right? Now, all these guys might not make the roster, but even then, they have a really talented group of halfbacks. And that's what Ron Rivera likes, because this is a guy who likes to run the football. This isn't a guy that wants to beat you airing the football out. This is a guy who wants to beat you ground and pound, turning out your defense, relying on his defense to get stops and win games, right? And I mean, look what he's done in the past. I mean, he hasn't really had the most talented offenses the years that Carolina went to the playoffs. So I mean, a lot of people keep saying that the Washington Redskins don't have a lot of talent on offense. I think they have enough talent that fits what Ron Rivera wants to do offensively. Run the football. You got a capable wide receiver. You got Terry McLaurin, who a lot of people haven't really been talking about, but Terry McLaurin was one of the best rookie wide receivers last year. In my opinion, I believe he was the second best rookie wide receiver behind A.J. Brown. I believe he had a better rookie year than DK Metcalf last year. That's just my opinion. A lot of people may disagree with that, but I believe Terry McLaurin was a lot better than DK Metcalf. And I'm not saying that to take anything away from DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf was a good receiver. I believe he's going to be a good receiver in the NFL. But I'm just saying that Terry McLaurin last year, his rookie year, was more impressive to me. I believe he was the second best rookie wide receiver. So you already have a capable number 1 wide receiver. Him and Dwayne Haskins already have a good connection, right? They played with Ohio. They played with each other at Ohio State, and they played with each other now in the NFL. And even then, Dwayne Haskins' go-to wide receiver was Terry McLaurin. You got Kelvin Harmon, who my guy Dwayne Close, who is my Washington Redskins guy, my Washington Redskins insider, who comes on the channel from time to time to talk about the Redskins. He was really high on Harmon last year. You also got Trey Quinn, who was a 7th-round pick, who was pretty okay last year for the Redskins. So I mean, the wide receiving core on paper is good enough considering what Ron Rivera wants to do on the offensive side of football. Now, the biggest question of concern that I have with the Washington Redskins is the offensive line. Now, they got rid of Trent Williams, which, I mean, we saw what this offensive line was with, how good this offensive line was without Trent Williams. So we already know the offensive line is a question, right? You got Shaziq Charles, the rookie offensive lineman out of LSU. Got offensive guard Brandon Scherff, who is one of the best offensive guards in the NFL. And you got Morgan Moses, who I believe is pretty solid. So although the offensive line may not be great, I don't think it's going to be terrible. Especially when you look at what the Redskins should be doing on offense, which is running the football. So, I mean, this is a Washington Redskins offense that, although it doesn't look all that impressive on paper, personnel-wise, when you look at what Ron Rivera wants to do offensively, I think it fits his style. Now, the defense is what everybody is going crazy over, especially the defensive line. So, you got defensive end Montez Sweat, who last year had 7 sacks. You got Ryan Kerrigan, who had 5.5 sacks last year, but missed a couple of games. Last year, Ryan Kerrigan missed the Pro Bowl for the first time in, 4 seasons? Prior to last year, when he was injured, he went to the Pro Bowl 3 straight years in a row. I believe that he was fully healthy last year, he probably would have once again had about 8.5 sacks, maybe 9, maybe 10, and most likely would have been in the Pro Bowl. So if he stays healthy this season, without a doubt, he'll probably be like an 8.5, 9.5 sack guy, and he'll probably be going to the Pro Bowl once again. And if Montez Sweat is able to stay healthy, he'll probably be going to the Pro Bowl as well. Then you got Daron Payne, who is a really good run stopper. You got Jonathan Allen, who had 6 sacks last year. Jonathan Allen is one of the better interior defensive linemen that we have in the NFL this year. Well, going into this year, right? Then, you got to look. You got edge rusher Chase Young, who you took with the 2nd overall selection. Now, based on everybody's expectations, a lot of people have been saying that he's better than both of the Bosa brothers coming out of Ohio State. Now, I'm going to be interested to see if he lives up to that. But, I mean, considering how good pass rushers out of Ohio State have been, I think that Chase Young could be a guy who ends up having maybe 9.5 sacks this year. Maybe 9.5, maybe a little bit of a stretch. But I think this is a guy who should have around 7 sacks this season. So he's going to have an impact. So you pair him up with Montez Sweat and Ryan Kerrigan. Then you also pair him up with Jonathan Allen, Daron Payne. This Washington Redskins defensive line is scary. You also got linebackers Thomas Davis. You got Reuben Foster, who hasn't even suited up for the Washington Redskins. They claimed him off waivers a few seasons ago, I believe. And last year he didn't even play because I believe he suffered some kind of injury. Like a season-ending injury. I believe he tore his ACL. So Reuben Foster, it remains to be seen how good he will be with the Washington Redskins. But I believe Reuben Foster should be solid with the Washington Redskins if he stays healthy. You got John Bostic, who isn't that bad. You got Cole Holmcomb, who wasn't really that bad. I mean, he was a starter, so, I mean, I don't think he was all that bad. Then the cornerback position, it's not all that, but I don't think it's all that bad. You got Ronald Darby, you got Fabian Monroe, you got Kendall Fuller, you got Jimmy Moreland. And, I mean, look, although the secondary may not look that impressive, we got a great defensive line that the Washington Redskins have. All you just need is your quarterbacks to be average. Because if you have an average group of cornerbacks, as long as they're able to cover, it doesn't really matter. Because the defensive line is not going to be giving the quarterback all day to sit back in the pocket and throw the football on you. So when you got a fast defensive line that's really good at getting pressure on the quarterback, you just need average cornerbacks. You don't need a great secondary when you have a good front 7. Because they're going to be able to force the quarterback to get the ball out faster. Right? Then in the back end, you got Landon Collins, who is one of the better safeties in the NFL. And Sean Davis, who I believe is pretty solid. And this coming from a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, Sean Davis was really solid when he played for Pittsburgh. So, I believe the Washington Redskins will be solid this year. I believe that they can win the NFC East. A lot of people forget that the NFC East hasn't had a back-to-back division champion in a while. The NFC East is really inconsistent because, like, one year the Eagles win it, next year the Cowboys win or something like that. So, I mean, don't sleep on the Washington Redskins. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying they're going to make it to the playoffs. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is, don't overlook the Redskins. That's all I'm saying. I think that the Washington Redskins deserve a little bit more respect than what they've been getting over the last couple of weeks since the NFL schedule came out. Because the Washington Redskins team, although they may not look talented on offense, they have enough, in my opinion, to be able to win the way Ron Rivera wants to win football games. Their defense is going to be one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. So, I mean, don't sleep on the Redskins. Let me know what you guys think about the Washington Redskins down in the comment section down below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel for more NFL videos and content, and thank you for watching.